I was walking around today and thinking about what I was going to speak about, and I found in a books stand where you can take free books, I found a book full of poetry by Ellie de Waard. It's a Dutch lesbian poet, and it says the sun is feminine. And the first verse I opened, I'll recite in Dutch and I will translate later, is because love is a profession. Want liefde is een professie. Voor het schrijven van een goede liefdesbrief is kennis van het begeerde geslacht een eerste vereiste en zelfkennis. Dan is het belangrijk om een effectieve openhartigheid te betrachten en er niet voor terug te deinzen belachelijke maar bewust bedoelde tegenspraken in te lassen, om de ander uit te lokken en zichzelf wat dommer voor te doen. Wil men deze wenken volgen, dan moet men al kunnen beschikken over humor en de zelfspot, die hier eveneens geboden is. Ja, de goede liefdesbrief is tegelijk schaamteloos en hoofs. Wat het bed betreft volstrekt direct, maar elegante brutaliteiten. Wat bijzaken betreft slechts hoffelijk, want liefde is een professie. En wie wil op dit belangrijke terrein nu niet een pro en absoluut geen sukkel zijn? En well, it's a beautiful poem. For us, only the first verse is of interest. And I will only translate that little part. And it's for the writing of a good love letter. Knowledge of the wanted sex is a first, wat is vereist in het Engels? Well, it's a first demand and self-knowledge. And I think we should really focus more on what we have, on women we have, on women that speak. And we are a bit distracted by the whole transgender movement. And I've been thinking about how come we are so distracted? How come we are so getting out of our own center and engaging in ridiculous discussions? How come we allow men to scold us, to get us off Twitter and Facebook? How come we are not centered in our own power? And that's what I made my presentation about. I will introduce myself, and then I will make a quick sketch of the people we are dealing with and what happens to us when we are dealing with them, and what strategies we need to be able to deal with them in a way that is best for us and will give us maybe also more results. So I'm a 59 today, and I have been a journalist and a negotiator in the union. I've always been a feminist. I've always written about women and fought for the rights of women, for part-time employment, etc. And I think about 35 years ago, I went into the personal growth business. And 25 years ago, I started my own coaching and training business. And my main thing I work with is systemic constellations, family constellations, and constellations of the inner personality. And I developed a method to work with that. Also, I am the chair of Voorzij, and it translates a bit for her. And it's a new feminist foundation in the Netherlands, and the only feminist foundation in the Netherlands that thinks trans-identified men are still male. All other feminist organizations are now not, I think I should use the accolades for them, because they are not really feminist anymore, because they think trans women are women. And because a small group of women in the Netherlands think differently, we started our own foundation, and we are now, well, we have a website, and we try to engage people with us and to influence politicians. So I'm an author. I wrote 3 books, one on leadership. Of course, I wrote a lot about feminine leadership. I wrote a book on relationships, because I'm a relationship coach. And in this relationship, I have met many narcissists and many women who are, like pleasing and not bringing themselves into the equation. And I wrote a book about my own method. So about language and gender and empowerment, I think we really should look at what are the persons, what are the people we are dealing with. And it's a group of very well organized, powerful, narcissistic men. And you have to know they are narcissists. You have to know that they don't have a conscience, they don't have a empathy. Because when you are trying to communicate with them from the feminine point of being, and you are, trying to be nice and to be gentle and to get to an agreement, and well, you will listen to them, but they won't listen to you. And you have to be very sure of that. You have to take that into account all the time, because they use narcissistic tactics to influence you. And these narcissistic tactics are aggression. So they will call you names. They will try to get you out of business. I had my business attacked with false reviews. Like, I think I got 20 or more false reviews. So the review for my company dropped from 5 stars to 2. And this is very aggressive. They don't even have to do anything against me personally, but they attack my business. So another strategy, which is very narcissist, is playing the victim. And they're very good at that. They're much better than us, because we don't want to be a victim. And we try to come on strong. We try to be strong. We have as women, we have a whole different angle of going at things, but they use victimhood to get things done. And they will, when you're, discussing with them, and they feel they can't win, they will immediately play the victim. And you will be invited to see them as victims, and it will work, because they're narcissists and they're champions at deluding you. And we have to know, you have to be aware of this and be real about it, because they're not normal. They're not normal people. You can't engage with them the way you engage with any other woman here in our session. You have to be aware of how they are working inside and how they are moving to you. So the other thing is, they make everything about them. You are not there. And for women, this is really, mind blowing. You cannot understand this whole perspective. And they are distracting you from your own business by engaging into fights all the time. And this is also where you lose your energy, when you are engaging into this fight. You will never win, because you don't have their tactics. And you have empathy. You have a conscience, so you don't want to be unfair, for instance. So why are they so good at influencing? So I think the first thing is they are men. Men have it much more easy to influence the whole world. Then they center themselves, which is very, very clever to do. And then, so when you center yourself, the other, and the needs of the other, and the wishes of the other, and the safety of the other, and the rights of the other, they're just not there. They're just not in your mind. They're just left out the equation. It's all about them. And the thing that they have no conscience and they have no empathy, it's so hard to understand when you have a conscience. That there are people who absolutely don't have a conscience. They just don't feel, and they don't have empathy, so they don't feel where you are, and they don't give a shit where you are. That's not having a conscience. So And what's happened to us when we get sucked in? Huh? We get sucked in. We want it to be fair. We want life to be fair. We want the discussion to be fair. We want to give the other one just as much room to speak as we give ourselves. And so we are compelled into continually keeping these discussions going with people we can never win from. And we are too polite and too pleasing. I haven't met any woman who isn't. And I've been now a coach for 25 years. And all women are too pleasing. And that's because that's the only way you can survive in this society. So you get sucked into useless fights. And you engage with them, and you don't protect yourself enough. So you give them the chance to hurt you, because you're talking and you're being called TERF, and even then you don't shut somebody out, but you keep talking. You're being called transphobe, and you don't stop the conversation. You just keep on going, and so you lose energy because you are scolded at, you are defending yourself against shit, and you forget what you need. We as women forget what we need, and we forget what's good for us, and we don't act on what we really need. And this is, I compare the whole women's movement to what I see in narcissistic relationships. And well, we are belittled. We get threatened, we get scolded at, we become the victim of bullying, and we get reported and thrown off Twitter, Facebook. We lose our jobs, we lose our customers, we lose our clients. And we get confused by them because they will decide what words mean. And Inge told a lot about that already. And I thought, well, I will take another angle for today and not talk too much about the meaning of words, but I think it's really, really super important. And so language is used as a tool. It's a tactic. And it's part of the mind games they play with us. And the mind games they use to influence the politicians, they use to influence people who you might think they had a brain, but they don't use it anymore because, I don't know, narcissists get them to think their way. So they use words to attack. They use TERF. They use transphobe. They use cis woman. They use menstruator. I think menstruator is humiliating, and transphobe is a word of attack. But maybe this is hoe noem je dat? The difference is not really too big. What I found very humiliating is that they call lesbians vagina fetishists. It's horrendous that that I know this word. I think it's ridiculous that I know all these words. I shouldn't know them because they're all idiot words. They're made up. They're shit. They're aggression, and then they use this whole words to confuse. And when I started thinking about the transgenderism and what was going on, I think it's about 3 or 4 years ago. And I was talking to other people about it, and then I realized, my God, I'm so confused. Is it trans? What is a trans man? Is a trans man? Oh, it's a woman. Oh, what is a trans woman? Oh, it's a man. Oh, and you are getting, okay, I'm getting there. Thank you. So they make you confused, and they change the meaning of words. So woman can mean man now. And so what we need, I'm going to do this very fast, and I hope you get my, I can share this because I think it's important. We have to focus on what we need to achieve. We have to block members of the trans cult. As soon as you detect one, block. You have to stop any conversation with anybody that's scolding you, that's saying you're a TERF or a transphobe. And you have to stop you have to stop wasting your energy trying to be reasonable to psychiatric patients, because that's what they are. And so you can be polite in person and razor sharp, when you engage on a more, what is it, when you talk about them in general. You have to think about the words you use for yourself. You have to choose your own language and the one with meaning. And you have to protest where it matters. So that means bring your energy to focus on politicians, on other people you can influence, and you can try to think different, because you won't be able to change a narcissist point of view. And the last one is meet and work together with people who are on your side. So what we're doing here is important for us because it strengthens us and it makes us feel we are normal, we belong, we are together.